Like, I mean, do you think you're gonna at least go to maybe like a 10-7, 10, so you know, however you want to turn this?
Yeah, it depends on how the game's flowing. I think there's a little bit of wiggle room, but we still got 30 games left. Obviously, I got hot in the third and he let me go pretty much the whole quarter. If that happens, for sure. But I won't press my luck too far.
You know
Steph,
what
when
those?
Jimmy was back in Chicago, his strength was always figuring out what the game needed, if it needed scoring, if it needed defense. When a guy like that comes to you guys and you got 29, 30 games left, does it make the growing pains less because he's just easier to assimilate in and just do whatever's needed?
Yeah, obviously Miami has a similar style, different personnel, but a similar kind of concept of how you play, especially offensively, trying to move the ball. Um, we don't really play the pick on game too much with matchups, but he's able to do that if the game slows down a little bit. Him and Draymond working well off each other. If one's spaced, if one's in action again, they usually try to make the right play. And then obviously with JK coming back, it's another athlete that can play in transition, get us going. We just move the ball, whoever's open. So again, one game, it did feel like a pretty smooth, transition to add him in to what we do and also allow him to be him. Like that's why he's here. We want him to be the
You
Jimmy.
guys don't do. How big is that aspect of the game?
It's huge, and as we keep going, game by game, you know, you'd hope to have a flurry like that where you open it up. But if the game's, possession here, possession there, the momentum's not going your way, like that should be able to help us. Whether he's either getting to the line or finishing in the paint, again, he draws attention. And so if we're decisive and organized, it's hard to kind of take away everything. And I think the idea that he's like the exact opposite player of me, which is kind of funny. Like I'm shooting 16 threes. He shot one, got to the free throw line a lot. He's dominating the paint. I'm dominating the outside and the perimeter. Guys working around us is has the potential to be really, really fun.
That third, go ahead.
When you guys fall behind by 24, is it because you guys were trying to, figure things out amongst each other, or was it just like defense wasn't great? You guys just needed to wake up. What was it like at that point?
We had some coverage breakdowns. They were getting Jalen Smith was he came in and it was a huge spark in the first half, knocking down threes. I think he had all of his points in the first half, or most of them. So they were playing well. It was our third game of fourth night, traveling cross country after a back to back. Like it took us a minute to wake up for sure. And then we had that scoreless stretch in the second quarter. All that led to a 24-point lead, but the composure to be able to come back and as soon as we went small in the third, we cut it to 10 or 12, whatever it was. And then in past games, that's where we stalled, not be able to get over the hump. And obviously, I got hot, got going, but we took advantage of that run, and our defense woke up, and it was a dominating performance in the second half.
The small ball units with Jimmy being a part of them.
Just good basketball, spacing, threats everywhere, making the right play, keeping the game simple. We didn't turn the ball over that much, with that lineup, and it was cool to see that space. And again, if him and Draymond are space or Draymond's involved in the action, we had Buddy space at the three. He made a couple big threes in the second half. BP was driving, kicking. It was just for a team or for a guy like Jimmy in our first game, it wasn't overly complicated. It was just simple basketball, and we were creating a lot of good looks.
Convince Steve to go over to start the fourth. Is that, I mean, the formula in your mind that you're hoping between you two?
Yeah, I went back to a more traditional kind of rotation, um, playing a full spread in the first quarter, having a block rest, and he's on the floor for those minutes, and then we're taking turns because he's obviously a guy you can run an offense through and can demand attention, create advantages, obviously get to the line. So one game, a lot to build on. The first half was kind of a weird filling out process, and Chicago got hot, but our composure, in that second half was great to see, and just the idea that we were very intentional about everything we were trying to do in the second half, and it obviously worked.
What did you just think of him overall, his game?
I mean, he's been out for a minute, and I know he was excited to get back out there. Just the idea that, again, you can throw it to him on the block, and he can take advantage of matchups. He got to the free throw line, which is something we struggle with, and just making the right play, making the right reads. At the end of the day, like the way that we play, we do have to kind of adjust a little bit to slowing down and understanding where he's going to be, get him in his comfort zone. But most of the time throughout the game, if you get stops, you run. It's just playing good basketball, and he obviously can do that at a very high level.
Describe Jimmy as a lion and that he kind of evokes confidence just with his presence. Did you feel that kind of thing just in his first game?
Yeah, you play against him, like he's a guy that you have to worry about at all times, and he can dominate a game in a lot of different ways. I'm sure from like a vocal standpoint, he's still getting comfortable. We were still having a good conversation on the sideline, trying to figure stuff out. Not trying to overcomplicate it either, but for him, like he made his presence felt across the board. And having played against him, seeing the success that he has had as a winner, there's a reason he's been to 2 finals. There's a reason, he has the reputation that he's been in his whole career.
Steph, you know what the record are, what the standings are, 30 games left, but does this feel almost like a fresh start with having Jimmy here?
Yeah, we were joking. Shoot around felt like a little bit of training camp with the film session, breaking down some of our sets, even the way you kind of communicate, like the basic principles of what we're doing, stuff you kind of take for granted this deep into the season. So it does feel like a fresh start, a full sprint to the finish line that hopefully main goal is to get out of the play-in, get firmly into a playoff kind of series. I think that's a realistic goal. But even just to find our way into a playoff appearance and take a shot, that's all we wanted. Again, one game, good start.
I don't know if you've answered this before, but when you have a run like that, and you've had many before, do you notice anything with the opponent? Is there, reaction to it? Do you see something and then you're able to take advantage of it?
Mostly, well, yes, I guess the idea that you understand where you can get some good looks or a set that's working to either relieve pressure off of whoever's guarding me on the ball or use screens off the ball to kind of get open looks.